Hi guys, good morning my most amazing artists. Are you ready for today? Good. We are actually going to use the clay that you created on Tuesday's lesson. If you didn't create the clay from Tuesday's lesson, that's okay. I'm gonna do a little recap of how to make it before we get started. With the clay, we are going to be creating sculptures. Now, what is a sculpture? I started talking to my second graders and third graders. I've taught you this in fourth grade. You definitely know this. So I kind of started teaching you guys about sculptures, 2D versus 3D. If I show you a 3D picture, what is that word that I taught you to remember what a 2D is? It is, let's see if you guys remember, it is flat. So it's like flat. There's no way that I can tell what these petals feel like. I can imagine what it feels like, but this is a 2D painting. Okay, this is 2D. Now, if 2D is flat, what is 3D? Do you remember what word I taught you guys? It has form. Okay, if I show you this, I can feel how the petals feel like. Okay, this is a 3D object versus a 2D painting. Here's an example of a two-dimensional shape. It has no form and it is flat like a piece of paper. The other example is of a 3D shape. It does have form, like a ball, a sphere, a pyramid, or a cube. Alrighty, you guys ready? Alrighty, for my friends that either missed Tuesday's lesson or used their clay that they created and need to make more, here's a little recap of what we did. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of salt, a 1/4 cup of water, and a 1/2 cup of flour. You're going to put all your ingredients into a bowl. So I have my 1/4 cup of salt. Okay, my 1/4 cup of water. That's a 1/4 cup. And 1/2 cup of flour. Nope. Oh, made a mess. This is why we did it outside last time. And then you're just going to mix it up. And you're going to mix it in your hand. So make sure I got all of it. Okay. And I'm going to just mix it in my hand and form it into clay. Now, if it is too dry, you can always add a little bit of water, but you always want to add a little bit at a time so it doesn't get too sticky in between your hands. If it gets too wet, like you added too much water, you can go ahead and add more flour a little bit at a time, and the flour will start to soak up that wetness and it'll start to form. Okay, I think I got my clay pretty ready. Let's start sculpting. Now that I have my paper and my clay, I cut it in half because I only need one part. Put this aside. I'm going to roll this into a sphere. Now I'm going to press it in my hand so it's like a flat pancake. And now I'm going to form it into the turtle shell. Now remember, you're the artist, so you can design your turtle shell however you would like. I'm going to form mine into an oval. Okay, once you're happy with where your turtle's shell is or how it looks, you're going to go ahead and pick a spot on your paper where you want it to stick, and you're going to press down on it. It will stick to your paper, so once you, thank you. So once you got your shell there, that is where your sea turtle is going to be. Okay, alrighty, now it's time to add the parts to my turtle. His head, his flippers, his tail, and his feet. I am going to be using basic shapes to create those pieces. For his head, it is going to be like a triangle with a rounded bottom. I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to go ahead and stick it to his body, pressing it down to the paper so that I make sure that it sticks to the paper. For his arms, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I create kind of a curved line, almost looks like a bean. For his feet, it's going to look like a circle. And for his tail, I'm going to use a triangle. Now, if you want, I have a plastic knife and I'm going to add texture to my sea turtle. You don't have to if you don't want to. When adding texture to any sea creature that you create, make sure you're not cutting or pressing through all the way. I'm going to go ahead and paint my sea turtle and then I'm going to add a background to him.
Yes, I'll come back to you, then I'll ask what have we done under the sun.
Now my sea turtle is swimming on the sea. You can totally add any more details if you wanted to this picture. If you wanted to paint, if you had extra clay and you wanted to maybe add a fish or some bubbles, go for it. Alrighty friends, as you can see, there are so many ways that you can do this. You can give it a nice full background. You can use the clay to create your whole sea scenery if you wanted to. My kids, they didn't want to stop. So you can get creative with it. Just make sure that when you're creating your artwork and you're using your clay, you're remembering that this is a 3D sculpture. It has form to it. It looks like it's coming out of the picture. You want it to feel like you can touch that sea turtle or that fish. Alrighty friends, if you have any questions or need help with anything, please reach out to me. I am here for you. Have fun creating this and have an awesome weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.